Hello, ladies and gents. Happy Sunday. Happy Euro 2024 final day. If I'm honest, I'm just sitting here like I don't really know what to do with myself. So I thought I'd come on and do a quick 5-minute reaction to the friendly yesterday. I wasn't going to do one, but I was there and I need to take my mind off of waiting for the game later and getting in the pub, which is I'm sure a lot of you that listen to this will be doing the same thing. So yeah, I thought I'd come on. I'm not going to do a play-by-play because ultimately I don't think anyone really cares. So I'm just going to call on a couple of observations. I'm not going to go through all the chances and stuff like that. It's a bit pointless. The game finished 0-0. We, of course, will do the normal post-match reactions, which ultimately is the reason I do these videos majority of the time. And we'll start doing those for the proper matches. But for this, I just thought I'd come on and call out a few observations. So as always, before we get into it, please do like, share, subscribe, all that jazz. I'm going to try and get some of those whizzy pop-up things that come up to remind you. I haven't got any of them yet. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to reach 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. When we reach 1,000 subscribers, then YouTube, you can start monetizing. Yeah, it's not massive for anyone that knows the YouTube game, but every penny I do make, obviously, will be going to Cancer Research UK. So if you listen to this, please just take that 2-second time to just hit subscribe. Or if you listen to it on a podcast, just hit follow. It just really helps and all going to a good cause. So, okay, let's get into it. So, look, Neil Harris said after the game, it's all about that cliche that all managers say, it's about minutes in the tank. And ultimately, it was. You know, you can't read too much into any of these games. You just can't. It would be silly of anyone to do that. I think it's about testing a few new things, trying to bring a couple of the youngsters through, making sure that everyone gets back to match fitness and coming through unscathed. That's what it's all about. And I think Harrison in his post-match interview felt that, objective achieved, if you like. But look, let's go through the lineup that started the game. And before I do, I just think it's worthwhile mentioning, certainly worthwhile mentioning, that there were a couple of really nice, subtle moments that were tributes paid to Matty Sarkic for the game, which was nice. So that was good. That was good to see. And obviously the big respect will be paid before the Watford game. Okay, so the lineup that was played was Lucas Jensen in goal. So new goalkeeper. He is a very tall man. Let me tell you that. I think a lot of people said it on Twitter, but yeah, he is very, very tall. Back four, right to left, Danny McNamara, Kamal Grant, youngster was on loan at Bromley last season, Jake Cooper, and returning Joe Bryan from injury. Midfield, again, right to left, Romain Esse, George Honeyman, George Saville, Duncan Watmore. And then up top, Tom Leahy partnered Kevin Nisbet. So again, I'm not going to go through all the chances. I think the first half wasn't the most exciting, if I'm being honest. Couple of chances for both sides. I think, in all honesty, in a normal league game, Kamal Grant would have been sent off. He took one for the team. One of their players was clean through and he took him out just before the edge of the area. Probably would have been sent off. But a couple of decent chances. Like I said, I'm not going to go through play by play. It's just a bit pointless, really. But what I will do is just mention a couple of things. So first of all, on the keeper, he sounded quite vocal, good presence. It seemed confident. His kicking was not as bad as I expected it to be. I thought it was actually quite good, in fairness. Maybe we've been used to Bart for so long, so anything seems good. No disrespect, Bart. We love you, really. So maybe that was the case. Danny McNamara, I felt him and George Honeyman, they didn't play a friendly. I don't think they know the meaning of a friendly. They took it very seriously. Sort of all in, full-blooded tackles, which obviously as Millwall fans we like to see. Kamal Grant grew into the game. I thought he started quite shaky. I don't really blame him necessarily for him pulling down that play. I think he had to take one for the team. But I thought he grew into the game a little bit, Kamal Grant. And by the end of the half, he looked quite accomplished. Cooper did okay. They had a striker up front called Josh Andrews, their number 9, who was reminding me a bit of a younger Matt Smith, 22 years old, signed him from Birmingham. I don't think he ever played for Birmingham. Maybe we've got 1 or 2 appearances, but he looked quite a handful. I think he could be quite good at being that kind of target man for them this season. So he's one player that I'd mention. I'd also mention a player that gave Joe Bryan a bit of a torrid time defensively, which was Romeo Hutton. So I think they signed him in January. Quite a good right back, quite tricky. Definitely had Joe Bryan pinned back at times. And again, not reading too much into it, but I felt Joe Bryan offered a lot going forward yesterday. Looked very bright as always. A couple of chances that we did create in the first half, he was often involved. But defensively, I mean, I've said this for a long time, he does leave me a little bit worried. I'm not going to lie. Sav's thought was normal Sav. Watmore was a little bit quiet, actually, for his normal self. And then up front, Tom Leahy, I thought was busy. That's what I would describe it as. I think he certainly put a shift in. Wouldn't have done his name or his brand any harm because I thought he ran his socks off and caused problems without threatening too much. But it was bright to see anyway from his perspective. I think he could do with a loan. Do you know what? He'd play really well with Gillingham's number 9, someone that can hold the ball up and he's just sort of busy like buzzing around him. And I think he clearly knows where the net is for his goal scoring record at youth level. So hopefully we can get him out on loan this season. And then Kevin Nisbet, who did go on to play 60 minutes. So I just want to address, there's a lot of rumours that he's fat. Quite frankly, I don't. My personal opinion of seeing him in the flesh yesterday is he has put weight on, but it's muscle. He does look a bit too stocky for a footballer, but I wouldn't necessarily say it's fat. But he just doesn't do enough for me, and I need to see more from him. I really do. I think when Bradshaw came on 60 minutes, him and Imaku changed the game for us. And although we didn't score, we certainly should have done in the second half. So let's get into the second half. So the second half was a goalkeeper, a trialist. So it was almost a full change. A young lad called Jordan Amissa, who's a young 22-year-old German goalkeeper that was released by Sheffield United. He played in the second half. So not Liam Roberts, who's been touted around, that he's been training with us. So it wasn't him, coincidentally. Right back and captain was Ryan Leonard. Centre back pairing of Wes Harding and Murray Wallace, and left back was Adam Malachi. In the middle of the park, Casper Denor, and I'll say it now, the very impressive Alfie Massey. Then George Honeyman just ahead, Romain Esse, Ademo Maku, and then Kevin Nisbet to start with. And then on the 60-minute mark, Carl Smith, Shamar Lawson, and Tom Bradshaw came on for Romain Esse, Kevin Nisbet, and George Honeyman. So a couple of points from the second half. The trialist goalkeeper for us made an outstanding save. Like, honestly, top draw save. Was definitely a goal. It was a really good save. What I would say is, other than that, he looked a little bit shaky. His kicking wasn't great. He's probably nervous. He's only a kid, and it's probably a big moment for him. But I don't know whether he's been looked at for a number 2 to compete with Truman. Is he looking to come into the under 23s? I don't really know, because we've got quite a few sort of good under 23 goalkeepers, such as young Dylan. So I don't really know what's going on there, but it'd be interesting to see what happens with him. I felt that Alfie Massey was the one that really shone for me. He just always wanted the ball. I mean, he's 18 years old, and he was like almost demanding the ball from defence. He just kept the game ticking. It was almost like a Billy Mitchell role. I don't really know how to describe him, but he was really impressive, and I think we need to get him out on a loan to like a League One, League Two club, because I think he's clearly got a lot of potential. So, Harris, fair play, mentioned that in his post match as well. So I thought he was very impressive. I thought Malachi grew into the game and was pretty impressive down that left hand side. Tom Bradshaw showed when he came on just the difference that he makes. His link up play, his movement. He just gets about the pitch a lot more than Kevin Nisbet. I want Kevin Nisbet to do well, because Millwall don't often pay over £1 million for a centre forward. So when we do, I want it to be successful. And I really hope it happens. But at the minute, I'm struggling to see it. I thought Imaku was exciting. He had our best chance of the game by far, did really well, beat a couple of players for pace, cut inside, smacked it in it, hit the underside of the crossbar, bounced down, and just, unfortunately, out of harm's way. He had a couple of other chances. At times, he was too greedy, lost the ball, ran into traffic. But you're going to get that because he's raw still. But he's just exciting to watch. I thought he was our biggest threat in the second half. And hopefully that'll do him a world of good. His pace really does frighten people. And they have to sort of step off and play towards their own goal. I thought Romain Esse is the other one I'd call out, that just, without being massively impactful in the game, he's just got such an air of class around him, and I thought he was pretty good for the time he was on. Just looking at my notes, I don't think there's anything else. I think the only thing I would call out, and whilst it is a friendly, that's 2 friendlies now, both 0-0. We look as defensively solid, really, apart from 1 or 2 moments that you're going to get in pre-season, as we have done last season, but we still don't look like scoring goals. And that's a problem to me. I think we need to bring in 2 wingers and another centre forward. I really do. And if you listen to Harris's post-match, clearly that's something that he feels as well, because he mentioned it multiple times. But look, don't read too much into it. It's a friendly. It is what it is. It's about getting minutes into the players, not picking up any injuries, trying to see if some of the youth players are ready to step up and identifying gaps. And that's ultimately what it did. So finished Gillingham 0, Millwall 0. That was just a quick reaction to the game. Yeah, let me know your thoughts, and yeah, stick around. We're going to release a Millwall roundtable imminently, so check that one out as well. Guys, as always, honestly, thank you so much for the support. We're now up to over 500 subs. I honestly thought it would take me to the end of the season to get that. So the fact we've got that, not even starting the season, is just mind-blowing. So thank you very much, as always, for listening, and we'll be back soon. Bye for now.